Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us to remember her, a Mother's Day workshop with Susan Lieu. My name is Andy Engel. I'm senior programmer at Reimagine. For anyone who needs a visual description, I'm a white cisgender male, got my glasses, patterned shirt, blue on black, and I've got a bright orange background behind me. For those of you who are here who have healthy relationships with parents living or dead, welcome. And for those of you who have complicated relationships with your mom, you are especially welcome here. Our team and our community of collaborators recognize the need to reimagine national holidays like Father's Day, like Mother's Day, Thanksgiving, and more. These holidays hold meaning for a lot of people. They can trigger grief. For others, these holidays represent the worst in American capitalism and consumerism, the cards, the flowers, the brunches. And before I get off my soapbox, I just want to say, as the parent of a teenager, shouldn't I be getting acknowledgement every day? I want to give everyone a heads up that parts of this event are being recorded for archival purposes and for our resource library. I won't be recording the parts in which you'll be doing sharing. This workshop with Susan is part of our spring season of grief, growth, and justice. Here at Reimagine, we've been leaning into the theory and practice of what's known as post-traumatic growth. For those who have experienced trauma, research indicates that truly shattering experiences can cause debilitating anxiety, as well as emotional and physical distress. We all know this as PTSD. PTG is another body of psychological research suggesting that it's possible to grow, to learn, to transform from trauma, loss, and other adversities. I'm not suggesting that we all must grow after we experience loss. Often people need to sit with their grief until they're ready to get up, and no one ever has to get over it. This workshop is one way to try to move through grief using art, creativity, action, and justice. While we're here together, let's honor visible and invisible abilities and disabilities. We've got live captioning on Zoom for those who need it. You just click on the CC button at the bottom of your screen. And let's honor the diverse ancestry, culture, heritage, and complexion and racial identity for all those who are present here. And let's talk about it. Let's honor the various beliefs, religions, faiths, creeds, and spiritual inclinations of all people present. Let's honor all forms of sexual orientation and gender expression. My pronouns are he, him. We recognize that those present may have different levels of wealth, access to resources, statuses of documentation and migration, political affiliation. Let's agree to treat all people here with dignity and respect. Y'all okay with that? Please raise a hand. Thank you. And it's good to see everyone who's got their cameras on. Thank you. And please consider joining us on June 19th for our Father's Day workshop. It's called Unburying My Grief, and it's with Xander Masser. And I'll put a registration link in the chat along with Susan's bio when I'm done talking. Our workshop leader, Susan Lieu, will guide us for 90 minutes. Susan, you're a joy to work with. I had the privilege of experiencing her one-woman show live at the San Francisco Columbarium in the before times. And it's not every day you get to see world-class theater in a space filled with living, breathing bodies and human remains. And more recently, Susan has hosted virtual events on Reimagine's platform, and you can read more about her in the bio and in the bio that we included in the event listing and in the link that I'll put in the chat. Susan is a playwright, a performer, director, activist, teacher, a Vietnamese American, a beloved Reimagine colleague, and so much more. And now I'm going to hand this over to Susan. Thank you.
Andy, thank you so much for the amazing introduction. And thank you so much to everyone who's joining today. I just wanted to start off the session with a land acknowledgement. I'm tuning in from Seattle, and that's the traditional land of the Coast Salish people, including the Duwamish people, past and present. I would like to honor with gratitude the land itself and the Duwamish tribe. This acknowledgement does not take the place of authentic relationships with Indigenous communities, but serves as a first step in honoring the land we are on. So I know we are all tuning in from different places, but wanted to acknowledge where I'm coming from today. So thank you again, Andy, for that introduction. I have the unfortunate honor of facilitating this workshop today. I lost my mom when I was just 11 years old from plastic surgery malpractice. And for 25 years, my family didn't talk about her. It was as if she was never alive. And so I've spent the last 4 years as an artist really exploring the themes of trauma and beauty standards, but most importantly, healing. I never imagined that I would take my very tragic family story and take it on stage, playing 15 characters, taking it on national tour, and now working on my memoir, because I think it's very important to tap into the shame that we have and to release it. It's been a very cathartic process to do that on stage night after night. And it's been even more cathartic to be in community spaces like these to talk about my experience and also create a space for other people to share theirs as well. I think when we come together as a community, we can come out stronger. But of course, it's starting with the first step. Wherever you are, whether your loss is very fresh or it's been decades like mine, I know it's always still very hard. So I just want you to know that all your feelings are welcome here, and that I'm very sorry that you're here, but I'm also very grateful that you're here today. I always have these notes and then I realize I don't even follow any of them. So what I also wanted to add to all of this is that, you know, as an artist talking about my family's story on stage, which was always pushed under the rug, and it was not okay to talk about it. What I didn't realize what was going to happen as the result of these 4 years is that I would become closer to my mom. I would soon know her. I would soon know how I was like her, and also how my family was starting to shift their relationship with her. And that's been such a joy to see. And I hope as a result of this workshop, it'll be an opening, a space for you to do some of your own internal shifting as well. I think what's key in all of this is creating a space to really remember. For years, Mother's Day was something I dreaded. Actually, it's something I pretended never existed. I would treat Mother's Day like they were any other day. But after all the grief work that I've been doing and the therapy that I started in college about a decade after her death, I'm starting to see Mother's Day in a totally new light. I have a 2-year-old now. So the day itself has really transformed for me. And I hope today we can transform it for you too. So one thing I want to say is when I use the word mother in this workshop, I know we might, mothers come in many forms: caregivers, aunts, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, fathers, single fathers, sisters, aunts. They can come in so many forms. So I want to just say, for simplicity's sake, I'm going to use the word mother, but I want you to know that I want to recognize that your mother, or who you want to remember, comes in different forms. And also I'll be using the pronoun she, her, but I also want to recognize that your mother or caregiver will have different pronouns as well. So I would love it if you could pop into the chat today of your name, where you're tuning in from, if you feel comfortable, and also who you'd like to remember today. So it could be Aunt Debbie, it could be Mother Jennifer, it could be Aunt Ngao, whoever it is. So if you want, you just put that in the chat, who you are, where you're tuning in from, and who you'd like to remember. I'd love to see that. Okay, I'm Vietnamese American. So there's this term called chia buồn. It means to share the sadness. And there's something really beautiful about not just holding it inside, but in a way, when we can share it, when we can redistribute it, it lessens the grief and the weight of what we have carrying with us. So I just wanted to say that that's where the spirit of this workshop is coming from today. It's this vessel for you to go inwards and to remember and to hold and to keep alive. But also when we're doing sharing, it's also a way to release that pressure that we have, of that tightening that we have of also holding inside. So it's that dichotomy of it. Okay. So what are we doing today? What are we doing for the next 90 minutes? We're going to be remembering her by doing meditation that I'll be kicking off, visualization that will dovetail into journaling. We'll also have some small group share time. And I've already gotten some messages from people saying, when is that happening? And what's that going to look like? I want you to know that all feelings are welcome here. So I will give prompts. We're going to be doing a lot of free write. You could share those. You could just share what your experience is like here. And that's fine too. Or you could also just hold space for your person. And that comes in the place of silence. I don't want it to be like, I'm a skip, no thanks, because that is it's not holding that container for you and that person. So what I'm trying to say here is all feelings are welcome here, and also all forms of participation are welcome here. If at any point you would like to go off camera and that would be more comfortable for you, okay. I would personally say, as a host, I love it when I can see faces, because then it makes me feel like I'm not talking into a void. And it makes me, it just makes me feel a lot more real. So if you can turn on your camera, I appreciate that. But if you don't want to, I understand. Okay. Shall we get into it? First, before we start, if you could find a sheet of paper, and a writing tool, something that you can be writing and depositing all your thoughts. Or if you're like, hey, Susan, I'm a Google Doc person, I'm going to be typing away, all good too. And make sure you have that blank doc in front of you. Have it ready to go, because we're going to do a meditation. It's going to go into visualization. Boom, we're going to go right into writing. And so I just want you to get ready. So get all your things set. If you want, if you can identify maybe a person that you're going to remember today, maybe with a picture, put that near you as well. Okay. All right. I'm just going through the chat right now. I'm seeing we have people tuning in from all over the world. We've got Toronto. Whenever Canada joins in, it becomes an international event, right? Toronto, what's up? Boston, Minneapolis, Massachusetts, Washington, D.C., St. Louis, Milwaukee, the UK, San Mateo, San Francisco. I love it. Brooklyn. Thank you so much. Finland is super international. Thank you so much for joining us today, and for bringing you to here. Okay. All right. Everyone, thumbs up, got their paper and pencil next to them, blank doc. All right. All right. Looking. Oh, someone's even driving boldly and doing this at the same time. Dang, Myrna, you got this. Okay. Don't write and drive at the same time, please. Okay. Here we go. We're going to start with a meditation. This is where we're going to close our eyes if you feel safe to do so. With the meditations, I'm cool if you turn off your video, because it's a meditation. I get it. Okay, here we go. All right. Just want you to close your eyes. Ground your feet. If you're sitting or lying down, feel what's underneath your feet. Is it your socks or your feet pressing into the carpet, wood, gas pedal? Feel the texture of your feet. Now think about your knees. Check out the condition of your knees today. Is there pain? Is it freedom? Is it bent? Moving up your body, go up your thighs, your hips, your tailbone, your sacrum. Feel your back and your spine. Where's the tension today? Where's the heaviness? Your fingers. Is there tingling in your fingers? Wiggle your fingers. Fingers say hi, you're alive. Your wrists to your elbows, to your arms, to your shoulders. Feel your shoulders, shoulder blades, spine, everything holding you up. Take a deep breath. Feel it in your throat, in your nose, out of your mouth. Resting and releasing your jawbone. Let it hang. Remove the stress from your eyeballs and let them rest into your nose. Is there more you can let go in your face? Relax your forehead. Take a deep breath. Take another deep breath. Now I want you to think about the person you want to remember today. See her face in front of you. Now I want you to imagine that you're in one of her favorite rooms. Maybe it's a bedroom, a chair she liked to sit in, the living room. Was it where she used to work? Where was her space that she liked to be in that you can also tap into? Be there with her. Now I want you to look around this space. Are you inside or are you outside? What's the temperature? Humid, cold, warm, toasty fire? Go look at her things. What about the shoes she liked to wear? Is there a vanity she liked to be at? Were there slippers or heels or sandals or tennis shoes that she really liked? Were they always clean or were they scuffed up? Did they match the outfit? Or maybe she didn't wear shoes at all. Now, while she's sitting there, I want you to go walk around. Go look at more of her things. Maybe in her bathroom, is there a shampoo she liked? Coconut, Pantene Pro V, designer, not designer. The closet, is it messy? Are there clothes on the floor? Or was she always neat? Are there dry cleaner plastic bags over the clothes? What kind of hangers? A lot of clothes, a little. Did she favor thick sweaters or cardigans? What did she like to wear? What was that outfit she always loved to wear? Her jewelry, a necklace, maybe with a phoenix, or pearls, a jade bracelet, rings stacked upon each other, or just a simple one, or none at all. Look at her things and dress her in her outfit that she felt most comfortable. Now I want you to sit next to her in her favorite outfit. And I want you to see her. How does she sit? Cross-legged? Comfortable? Knees together, knees apart? Leaning forward, leaning back? How does she hold her hands? Are they under her chin? Does she always clasp them? Is she jittery? Does she have a nervous tick? Look at her face. Is there a lipstick color she liked? Maybe she didn't wear lipstick at all. Eyeliner, mascara. Did she moisturize? Wrinkles or not? Dry skin or oily? And her hands. Are they rough or are they soft? Are they gnarled? How thick are her fingers? What does her skin touch and feel like if you put your hand over them? Or maybe she would never let you touch her. But if you could look at her hands, what do they look like? Is there a nail polish color she liked? Or she never wore it at all? Now you two are sitting next to each other and she's looking at you. What does she smell like? Was there a perfume? Or maybe the dishes she liked to make, she always just smelled like that. Maybe she smelled like mothballs and you never told her. Smell her. Be right next to her. How is her hair? Did she comb it? Is it a perfect coif where she blew dry it and it was sprayed, or is it in a ponytail? Look at her hair, how she presents herself. Take it all in. Gaze at her. Or maybe she never made eye contact, but see her. What's her face expression like? Is she concerned? Is she carefree? Is she stressed? Is she worried? Is she laughing? You're with her right now. I want you to hold this visual of her. And now I want you to think, what is it about her on a visual, a smell, an audio level, the sound of her voice, her laugh of her voice? What did she look, smell, and sound like? Open your eyes, and I'm going to set the timer for 3 minutes for you just to do a quick write of what did she look, sound, and smell like. 3 minutes. I'll put some music on in the background, and when I turn the music off, we will continue. All right. So if you could finish up that last sentence right there, and then pop into the chat one element of her that is so vivid for you. And I know we've got different types of hers here. We've got also a father that we're missing, grandparents, but whoever you're remembering, one element of them that is so vivid for you, pop it into the chat. Red silk scarf, my mother's strong hands, her serene smile, scratching the bloody fungus on her hands. Beautiful by Estee Lauder. Her red hair and her bangs, her shaped eyebrows, a black vest, tanning herself to a crisp brown on a chaise lounge. I love it. All right. So we are going to do a few more journaling exercises. I think going internal and really doing this for you in the beginning is very important. What we're going to be doing next is, I don't have a lot of rules here, right? I was like, all feelings are welcome, but here's my next rule that I have that I think would be really interesting for you as you do this exploration. My rule is to only write forward, not backwards. I know you'd be like, oh, Susan, that's metaphorical. Yes, it is. But no, literally write forward, not backwards. It is so easy to start editing and being like, oh, what I want it to look a certain way. I want you to move forward. I want you to have a stream of consciousness. I just want you to go, flow, move forward. Okay. Keep that in mind. All right. So here's our next prompt. I want you to choose a memory where you felt close to your mother, where she was at her best, a memory that you'll always cherish. And I want you to take us there. All right, so I'm gonna paste that prompt into the chat here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the next 8 minutes. I'm gonna set the timer, that really lovely, gentle music back on. And I want you to think in your heart, a time you felt close to your mother, where she was at her best, or a moment that you'll always cherish together. Okay, take us there. All right, 8 minutes on the clock. Wrap up. All right, wrap up that last thought. And then if you could pop into the chat a memory of her at her best, or one you will always cherish. It could be a word, it could be a phrase, whatever you want to share about what you wrote, just pop that into the chat. The beach. What else? Day trip to Philadelphia. Mornings shared together at the kitchen table. Mommy coming to Denver. Art activities. Calm focus. Dancing together. A nest for me out of blankets and stuffed animals. Piñata parties. Girl on Fire by Alicia Keys. Exploring a secret garden on a drive in the country. She actually asked a question. What's wrong? I know for me, my mom, she passed away when I was 11. So I actually counted that I only had 6 memories of her. And they were just so precious. And now as I'm a mom, I'm reading through your comments and I'm thinking about isn't it just the simple things? So beautiful. Letting me stay up with her after a nightmare, singing in her native language with community, dancing, her glittery dress, her smile of love. So precious. Thank you for sharing that. Coming out to grandma and her smiling and saying, I know we all have gay people in our families. We called them bachelors back in the day. Of course, grandma would say that. Grandma. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is beautiful. Taking us in the car to watch the sunset, eating out in a restaurant in Carlsberg beer. All right. So now I'm going to give you all a breather. I'm going to do a little mini performance for you all so you can just have a little space right now. I became this artist, and each of my shows leading up to this big show that I had called 140 Pounds, How Beauty Killed My Mother. Each of those 4 shows leading up to it was asking different questions about my mom that I wanted to know. And I'd have the question in mind. I'd do an investigation. I would ask my family who didn't want to talk anymore. I would read through all these legal documents. I would go back to Vietnam. I was always searching and wanting to know answers about her because I just didn't know. And I felt like as the youngest, I needed those answers. And in one of the shows, I asked 100 questions I could ask her if she was still alive. In the final show, I reduced it down to 20, and I just wanted to ground the next prompt into this. So if you all wanted to know, here are the 20 questions I would ask my mom if she was still alive. When you were a little girl, what did you want to be when you grew up? What attracted you to Ba? What did you love about me? Could you tell me all of our happy moments together? That day when we were driving home on the Bay Bridge, why did you get out of the car and walk home on the freeway? Did you watch me sleep with all those men who weren't important to me? Does it make you feel sad when I hate my body too? When I light incense and ask you for help, does it really work? How would I know for sure? The spirit channeler says you come to me in the form of small birds. Is that true, or is she just trying to make me feel better? Do you believe in destiny or free will? Knowing everything you know now, what are you most afraid of? Did I disappoint you? What do you think of my husband, Marvin? Any advice on giving birth? If I have a daughter, how can I make her love her body? When can you hold me again? How can I summon you? How am I like you? So that's it. And now I want to go into our next prompt. So take a moment, close your eyes. Let's go there. If she were still here today, what would you want her to know? What is it that you didn't get to tell her? What is it that you were holding back? What do you wish she could know? And on the inverse of that, if she were still here, what would you want to ask her? What's left burning for you? What's unanswered? What do you need to know? What do you wish you could know? Take a deep breath. One more. All right. I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes, and I want you to answer those questions. What is it that you want her to know? What is it that you would want to ask her? You could also do it under the frame. Try to do as many questions as you can. Maybe get to 100 in the 10 minutes. Just go right forward, not backward. Go for it. Wrap up that last thought. And if you could put into the chat for you, if she were still here today, what would you want her to know, or what would you want to ask of her? You can put in phrases of both prompts or just one, but whatever you want to type for you. What would you want to know? What would you want to ask her? Put it in the chat. I love you. Do you love me? Can you help me keep me safe or out of pain when it comes for my time to die? Did you know? What is your chili bean recipe you made every Halloween? Okay, you can keep populating that in the chat if you want. Now, I think for me, I was on this quest to know her, and I was just so curious about how I was like her. And I just felt like that was a fundamental question that I had in all of my shows that I was creating. So the next question is one that I hope is about how do we continue their memory with us today? So here's a prompt. What gift did she give to you that you'll always treasure? How do these qualities make who you are today? How can you embody these qualities in your daily interactions with people and with the earth? Okay, so there's a variety of questions that I'm landing, and I just put into the chat. You can answer one, all of them, your interpretation of them, whatever inspires you from them. But I think it's just so curious. It's like people are never really gone. They can live on in us. And so the question is if we consciously think about it, what is it? What do we hope it is? So again, here's the prompt. What gift did she give to you that you'll always treasure? How do these qualities make you who you are today? How can you embody these qualities in your daily interactions with people and with the earth? Okay, I'm going to set the timer for 7 minutes. Wrap up. All right, wrap up that last thought. And if you want to pop into a chat, either the gift that she gave you that you'll always treasure, or a quality that makes you who you are today, you can put that into the chat. Okay. Reading stories to me at night, igniting my love of books and my path as a writer. The importance of female friendships. Amen to that. She gave me the gift of caring deeply about others and their needs. What never-ending love looks like. Silliness, creating art and generosity. Treating family members fairly. A love of the sun and water. Simple things. The need for thoughtfulness. Playful spirit. Spiritual seeker, sense of equity, finding her way as a single woman later in life and creating a life of meaning, caretaking of others' strength and sensitivity, her children, her strength and resilience as a trauma survivor. I love it. Thank you so much, and keep them coming. Okay, so next what we're going to be doing is going into the small group share segment. of the program. And I just want to say that what it's going to look like is it'll be groups of 3, 4 minutes each. And the goal is not to fix people. The goal is not to interrupt them and say, it's okay, because it might not be okay. The goal here is to have a container of time and space for people to be there. Now, I'm going to put into the chat what this looks like. Okay. You've got 3 options during group time. And I see people starting to drop from this call. I'm like, no, really, it's going to be okay. In small group time, you'll have 4 minutes a person. And it could be to share a passage or something that you've written that was really dear to you, that you just want to just give life to speak it for the first time. I remember when I was reading my scripts for the first time in front of my director, I was freaking out. I was totally stressed. Like I couldn't even try because it was so scary. But there is something actually quite valuable in just starting to breathe life into these memories and words for the first time. So other people in the circle notice that, realize that you're part of a very sacred container and that they might be sharing something for the first time. So be fully present. You can share a passage of something you've written. You can share, hey, what has this process been like today? Like I woke up, it's Mother's Day, and I'm doing this right now. What's that been like for you? Has there been any surprises? Has it been awesome? Has it been terrible? State it, share it. Or if you're like, hey, no thanks, Susan, no thank you, I'm going to respect that no. I still want you to set that timer and hold that time so we can remember your person, so you can remember that person. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. So we are going to do this. Andy, if you could set the timer for 15 minutes, there's going to be groups of 3 and you're going to 4 minutes each. If one person could actually like play timer on their phone, and then when the timer goes off, like just show it on the phone so people know to wrap up, that would be really great, just so that everyone gets time and space to share. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. And I know some of you are like, I don't know. And I'm like, you can still just hold space. And there's actually a gift in that silence. All right. So I am going, we see the prompts right there. So remember what the prompt is. And here
Susan,
we go.
Susan, are you doing these breakouts or am I?
Can you do the breakouts, please?
Yeah. I've got 9 total rooms. That gives around 3 to 4 people per room.
No, could you do rooms of 3 people, and any leftover people stay with me?
Yes.
Rooms, 3 people.
Rooms of 3 people, like 3 people within each room.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, good.
I have it.
Okay. All right.
I'm opening up the rooms.
Okay. Hello. Welcome back. We're not done yet. There's more. Okay. I want to wrap us up with one more meditation. So I invite you again to close your eyes. Here we go. You're sitting on a bench with her. She's smiling at you. It's time to say goodbye. What do you see her saying to you? What are her last words, her thoughts before she parts? Is it advice? Does she have a very silly way that she likes to say goodbye? Does she hug you? Does she not hug you? She has her purse right by her and opens it up slowly. She pulls the zipper back and pulls out an object from her purse and gives it to you. What is it? Look at it. Feel it. Is there a message? Is it a scarf? Is it nothing? What does she give to you before she says goodbye? Thank her in the way you want to thank her. She gets up to leave, and you say goodbye. What is one thing that you will do for yourself today or do for her? How will you care for yourself? How will you remember her? Or perhaps with something that you've written today, how will you breathe more life into it? Will you look at it again? Will you read it to someone today on the phone? Will you tuck it away somewhere safe? Open your eyes. And if you could just pop into the chat, what's one thing you'll do for yourself or for her today? Or what's your next step with what you've written? Pop that into the chat. And if you could put your video back on one last time, I would love to see your faces. Oh. Reflect and drink some tea. Oh, I do that every day. Eat chocolate, her favorite. Eat some good food. Talk to her. Sing a song she loved. Put my face in the sunshine. Take some of those baby steps she always reminded me to take. One more cup of coffee. Dance, cook her recipes. Delicious seafood dinner because she loves seafood. I love how all of this is about eating. All into that. Listen to music, share more heart with her. Live show. She's a fan of the creative arts. Yes. Friends, it is time. I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your day with me. It is a begrudging day. It's a lovely day. It's a terrible day. It's a wonderful day. But hopefully now that it's a day that we got to spend some time together, it makes it a less shitty day. Andy, I know you had shared some grief resources with us in the chat at the beginning. If you could pop those links back into the chat. We're not, Andy and I aren't therapists. I'm not a therapist at all, but I know today I opened up a container. I opened up some feelings, and I want us to also be responsible for that. So there are resources out there if you need additional support today that are professionals if you need. And also to reach out to a friend. I know Reimagine has some amazing events coming up. Andy, do you want to do a plug for Father's Day?
Before I do that, I just want everyone to give a big round of applause for the amazing Susan Lieu, who led us today in this wonderful writing workshop, who created this wonderful space for us. I know I felt like so welcomed to open up and share and write and be creative, and I hope you all felt the same. I know you did. So thank you again, Susan. So yes, if you enjoyed this experience on this particular holiday, I put in the chat a link to Reimagine's Father's Day event with another artist named Xander Masser, and it's called Unburying My Grief. And I hope you can join us for that. And if you check out the schedule for Reimagine, we've got other wonderful workshops and events happening through our season of Grief, Growth, and Justice through June 9th. And I just want to wish everyone a peaceful and loving day. Take care, everybody.
All right. Peace to you. Bye.